The Red Sea has become a flashpoint once again, a region where the world's tensions and ambitions collide on the open water. On July 9, 2025, the cargo ship Eternity Sea, sailing under the Liberian flag from the UAE to Israel, was attacked and sunk by Houthi rebels. The vessel was carrying commercial goods. Its journey meant to be routine, but it became the latest casualty in a growing maritime crisis. The attack happened 51 nautical miles west of Hodeidah, Yemen, well within Houthi-controlled waters. This area has become notorious for sudden violence, and the Eternity Sea was caught in the crossfire. This was no random act. It was a calculated strike, part of a broader campaign to disrupt shipping and send a message to the world. The Houthis quickly claimed responsibility, citing the ship's Israeli connection as their motive. Their statement was clear: any vessel with ties to Israel is now a target. The Eternity Sea was a commercial vessel, not a military one, making its destruction a major escalation in the conflict. The attack shattered the illusion that civilian shipping could remain untouched by regional hostilities. The incident sent shockwaves through the global shipping industry, highlighting the vulnerability of one of the world's most vital trade routes. The Red Sea is a lifeline for international commerce, and its disruption has far-reaching consequences. The Houthis have declared any ship linked to Israel a target, turning the Red Sea into a high-risk zone for global commerce. Shipping companies now face impossible choices: reroute and face delays, or risk the perilous waters. The sinking of the Eternity Sea is a stark warning. Regional conflicts can threaten civilian lives and disrupt the global economy. The world is reminded that the sea, though vast, is not immune to the violence of land-based disputes. The attack resulted in deaths, disappearances, and a desperate rescue mission in hostile waters. For the families of the crew, the tragedy is personal and profound. Seafarers now find themselves on the front lines of a geopolitical conflict they never chose. Their daily work has become a test of courage and resilience. The world is watching, uncertain of what comes next in these troubled waters. Governments, shipping companies, and ordinary people alike are left to wonder how far the crisis will spread. The loss of the Eternity Sea is more than a financial blow. It's a human tragedy and a grave warning. Each life lost is a reminder of the real cost of conflict at sea. The Red Sea's future as a safe shipping lane is now in question, its waters shadowed by uncertainty and fear. To understand this attack, we need to know who the Houthis are. The Houthi movement, or Ansar Allah, is a powerful Zaidi Shia group from northern Yemen, originally a religious revivalist movement in the 1990s. Over time, they became a formidable armed force, seizing Yemen's capital in 2014 and sparking a devastating civil war. Backed by Iran, the Houthis now control much of Yemen, including its Red Sea coast, giving them the ability to strike at passing ships. Their arsenal includes missiles and drones, allowing them to project power far beyond Yemen's borders. Their slogan, "Death to America, Death to Israel," reveals their core ideology and regional ambitions. By attacking ships, the Houthis position themselves as key players in a broader anti-Western, anti-Israel alliance. The Eternity Sea's last journey was marked by danger from the very start. The ship, a massive container vessel, was no stranger to challenging routes, but this voyage would prove to be its most perilous yet. Departing the UAE for Israel, the ship's crew prepared for what they knew could be a treacherous passage. Houthi threats against Israel-linked shipping were well publicized, and the crew was acutely aware of the risks. Every member understood that the Red Sea had become a flashpoint, and that their journey would take them straight through the heart of danger. As the vessel neared the volatile waters off Yemen, Houthi forces issued a direct warning, demanding the Eternity Sea stop or change course immediately. The tension on board was palpable as the crew received the chilling message over the radio. The captain, weighing the risks, chose to press on. It was a decision made with courage, but one that would ultimately prove fatal for the ship and its mission. Suddenly, the Houthis launched a coordinated attack. Missiles streaked across the sky, fast attack boats closed in, and gunfire erupted near the vessel. The crew was caught in a relentless assault that overwhelmed the ship's defenses. The vessel suffered catastrophic damage, explosions tore through the hull, and water began flooding the decks at an alarming rate. The ship was quickly losing its battle to stay afloat. The crew scrambled desperately to save the ship, working together to pump out water and seal breaches. But the flooding was unstoppable, and chaos soon took over as the situation deteriorated. With the ship listing heavily and the decks awash, the order to abandon ship was finally given. Lifeboats were deployed as the Eternity Sea slipped beneath the waves, disappearing into the depths. Survivors faced the open sea, clinging to life rafts as they watched the wreckage drift away. The ship's remains became a stark new symbol of the Red Sea's growing dangers. This was not just a loss of cargo, but a harrowing ordeal for those on board. The trauma of the attack would haunt the crew long after their rescue. The attack demonstrated the Houthis' growing capability and willingness to strike commercial targets, sending a chilling message to all who traverse these waters. The Red Sea's shipping lanes are now a battleground, where every voyage carries the shadow of conflict and uncertainty. The sinking of the Eternity Sea was a human disaster. 25 crew members from several countries were on board simply doing their jobs. Only 6 survived, 5 Filipinos and 1 Indian, pulled from the water after the attack. 4 crew members were confirmed dead, while 15 remain missing, likely lost at sea. Some survivors were reportedly captured by the Houthis, adding a hostage crisis to the tragedy. The attack highlights the immense risks faced by civilian mariners in conflict zones. These seafarers are often the forgotten victims of geopolitical struggles. Their families now face agonizing uncertainty, waiting for news of the missing and captured. The incident is a stark reminder. Behind every headline, there are real people whose lives are shattered. The world's shipping lanes are now front lines in a global conflict. The cost is measured in human lives. The Houthis made their motives clear. The Eternity Sea was targeted specifically for its Israeli connection. This was not a random act, but a calculated move designed to send a message to Israel and the wider world. The Houthis have repeatedly stated that any vessel with even the slightest link to Israel is fair game, and the Eternity Sea fit that criteria. Their maritime campaign is framed as an act of solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, aiming to pressure Israel by disrupting vital trade routes. By targeting shipping, the Houthis hope to draw international attention to the suffering in Gaza and force a response from Israel and its allies. This strategy is both a show of support and a form of economic warfare. Any vessel linked to Israel, by ownership, operation, or even destination, is now a potential target. The Houthis have expanded their definition of what constitutes an Israeli connection, making it difficult for shipping companies to avoid risk. The Houthis have vowed to escalate attacks until their demands on Gaza are met. Their leaders have issued public threats, promising more strikes if the situation in Gaza does not improve, and warning that no ship is truly safe. By striking at shipping, the Houthis elevate their status from a local Yemeni faction to a regional power with influence over global trade. Their actions have forced the world to pay attention to their cause and have disrupted one of the world's busiest maritime corridors. Their actions are broadcast as propaganda, rallying support at home and across the Middle East. The Houthis use these attacks to strengthen their image, portraying themselves as defenders of the Palestinian cause and as a force capable of challenging powerful adversaries. In reality, their targeting has been broad. Ships with even distant or indirect ties to Israel are at risk. This has created uncertainty and fear among international shipping companies, who now must scrutinize every aspect of their operations. The attack on the Eternity Sea shows how even a tenuous link can be enough to make a ship a target. The Houthis' criteria are often opaque, leaving many vessels vulnerable simply due to ownership structures or past associations. The Red Sea is now a danger zone for global shipping, with every vessel potentially at risk. The Houthis' campaign has transformed the region, making it a flashpoint in the ongoing conflict and a symbol of how local struggles can have worldwide consequences. The Eternity Sea's sinking is part of a larger Houthi campaign that began in late 2023. The rebels have attacked ships across the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandab Strait, and beyond, using missiles, drones, and fast boats. July 2025 marked a new escalation, breaking a brief ceasefire and signaling renewed violence. In the same week, the Magic Seas, another commercial vessel, was also sunk. Its crew barely escaped. The Houthis track ship histories and ownership, targeting those with any Israeli connection. This systematic approach has created fear and uncertainty for shipping companies worldwide. The rebels' growing military sophistication, allegedly aided by Iran, alarms analysts. The Red Sea has become one of the world's most dangerous maritime zones. the Houthis have turned a regional conflict into a global shipping crisis. There's no clear end in sight. The Houthi attacks have upended global trade. The Red Sea is a critical artery connecting Asia and Europe via the Suez Canal. With the route now dangerous, major shipping companies are rerouting around Africa, adding weeks and huge costs to each journey. Higher fuel and insurance costs are driving up prices for consumers worldwide. Delays mean shortages and disruptions in supply chains, from electronics to food. War risk insurance premiums have skyrocketed, making the route unaffordable for many. Seafarers are reluctant to sail through the region, compounding the crisis. The Red Sea's instability threatens to become permanent, with lasting effects on the global economy. Oil prices could rise, and Egypt's Suez Canal revenues are at risk. The principle of safe navigation is under threat. A regional conflict now impacts the price and availability of goods everywhere. The world has responded with force and diplomacy. The U.S. leads a multinational naval coalition, Operation Prosperity Guardian, to protect shipping in the Red Sea. Warships intercept Houthi missiles and drones, but attacks continue. After the Eternity Sea and Magic Seas incidents, Israel launched retaliatory airstrikes on Houthi positions in Yemen. These strikes aim to degrade Houthi capabilities, but risk escalating the conflict and worsening Yemen's humanitarian crisis. Diplomatic efforts, including a U.S.-brokered ceasefire, have so far failed to bring lasting peace. The Houthis tie their campaign to the war in Gaza, making a solution even more complex. The international community is divided. Some push for more military action, others for diplomacy. For now, the world's navies are locked in a tense struggle to keep the sea lanes open. The Red Sea's future as a safe shipping route is uncertain. Continued Houthi attacks could make rerouting ships around Africa the new normal, raising costs and fueling global inflation. The risk of wider conflict looms, with potential escalation drawing in regional powers and threatening other vital waterways. Yemen's humanitarian crisis could worsen, with more civilian suffering and infrastructure destroyed. A lasting solution requires addressing Yemen's political chaos and the broader regional conflicts. The crisis is a warning. Even a small group can disrupt the global economy. Only a mix of military deterrence, diplomacy, and real conflict resolution can restore stability. Until then, the sinking of the Eternity Sea stands as a grim symbol of a world on edge.